told by the men who played it. The golden age of baseball, or movies, or rock and roll, or most anything else, is not this decade or that one, but the year in which you hit puberty and everything changed. It cannot be long before middle-aged baseball writers create paeans to the game of the 1980s. Baseball is a backward-looking institution. It pleases us to think that giants once strode the earth, and their like will not be seen again. This is baloney, of course, but serve it up between two slices of bread with a smear of nostalgia, and count me in. Are the players of today better than those of the 50s and 60s? Certainly. But in the paradox of progress, we know it is better and cannot explain why it feels worse. Blame it on the designated hitter, or the carousel of relief pitchers, or steroids, or the rise in strikeouts. But the best explanation is simply that we are older now. The unchanging game has changed, and so have we. It has been a pleasant conceit to imagine that amid the continuing swirl of events, a childhood game has been the constant of American life. For all our complaints today, and a widely held perception that the world used to be a better place, and it must be someone's fault that it isn't any longer, it may likewise be argued that America is better than it ever was. To view our present state, in the game and in the land, with clarity, is the calling of the past. What was it like to be alive then? That may seem simple for the autobiographer of a certain age, though it is not. It is a harder mission for the historian to go beyond the recovery of accurate fact to recording an accuracy of feeling. For the oral historian, the mission is to present his interlocutor as he was in life, to go beyond stenography, as Peter Golenbock has done so brilliantly here. Like Larry Ritter, who may be said to have invented the genre of oral history, he has left behind mere transcription, like the Works Progress Administration interviews of the mid-1930s, to present word portraits more eloquent than voice. He wakes the echoes. John Thorne. Preface. When I was a junior at Dartmouth College, a book arrived for me, the sports editor of the Dartmouth Daily newspaper. It was titled The Glory of Their Times, and it was a book of reminiscences of baseball players, famous and not so famous, who played in the 1910s and the 1920s. The author was a man by the name of Larry Ritter, who had spent 5 years driving 75,000 miles around the country with his reel-to-reel tape recorder to interview men like Rube Marquardt, Tommy Leach, Davy Jones, and Sam Crawford, who played in the outfield beside Ty Cobb. I started to read it, and immediately I was swept up, transported to a different time, an age when the likes of Cobb and Joe Jackson starred along with Walter Johnson and Christy Mathewson. To this day, I think of the glory of their times as the Bible of baseball, and whenever I teach my course on baseball and American culture, I always include it in the required readings. Inspired by the glory of their times, as well as Ball 4 by Jim Bouton and The Boys of Summer by Roger Kahn, in 1975 I published Dynasty, my best-selling history of the Yankees from 1949 to 1964. For that book, I interviewed almost 50 former Yankees. After that, I wrote oral histories of the Brooklyn Dodgers, the Boston Red Sox, the Chicago Cubs, the St. Louis Cardinals and Browns, and the New York Mets. For each book, I interviewed dozens of players, executives, and journalists, using pieces of those interviews for the body of those books. It is now the year 2021, 50 years since Larry published The Glory of Their Times. In the meantime, many of the players I interviewed for my team histories have passed away, leaving me with hundreds of hours of tapes of our conversations about their teams and the national pastime. My goal with Whispers of the Gods is to write a book that allows the next generation of players to tell their stories about their managers, teammates, and important moments. The book is dedicated to the men who mentored me while I was just getting started: Roger Kahn, Larry Ritter, Harold...